team link. If you want to purchase any longevity products, they can help you at the Brightside Ben phone team, 866-735-2470, or you can pull down on the shopping cart at brightsideben.com. And I also want to encourage you to check out my blog, pharmacistben.com. If you want to search any programs, you can take a look at benfuchsarchives.com. Thank you to Peter in the UK for setting that up for us. There's a neat search engine there, and you can search for specific topics that we've talked about over the last 3 years now, doing the Brightside program. And, of course, all the shows are archived at brightsideben.com via the GCN network. Okay, let's see here. Methylation, super, mega important process that occurs in the body. Methylation is basically a piece of carbon, a chunk of carbon, getting stuck onto different chemicals. It activates the chemicals. These methyl chunks, methyl groups they call them, are carried around in the body via various transporters, little shuttles that sort of carry a methyl group on, then donate that methyl group wherever that methyl group needs to be donated. So making sure you got enough of these methyl carriers is a very important strategy. You can eat foods that contain methyl carriers, and it's mostly going to be living foods or live foods. Pretty much all veggies, organ meats, flesh foods, seafood. They're going to get you methyl groups as long as those foods are reasonably fresh. Over time, methyl groups become less available as foods lose their freshness and the life force and this starts to dissipate and methyl carriers break down. This is one of the big problems associated with processed foods and getting most of your calories from processed foods, as many of us are doing. Foods that are heavily processed contain a lot less methyl carriers. These methyl carriers, methyl groups, they're all associated with living and live foods, and you're going to get a lot less of these if you're eating processed foods, although enrichment can improve methyl carrier content. That's one of the things that enriched flours do, is they replace, the enrichment process replaces the methyl carriers that are lost by food processing. How about if we just don't process our foods as much? How about if we just don't eat as much processed food and try to subsist as much as we can on living and live foods? There's also nutritional supplements that we can use that carry methyl groups. We can help improve the methylation process using nutritional supplements. There's lots of them. One of the most important is something called SAMe. Last we spoke, yesterday anyway, we were talking about this very important SAMe element. SAMe comes from methionine. Methionine is an important amino acid. It's a raw material for the most important, probably the most important of all the methyl group carriers, SAMe. SAMe can be thought of as an activated version of methionine. Methionine gets switched on and becomes a methyl carrier via some very interesting chemical processes. We won't get into that, but basically it just gets activated and it becomes SAMe. That turns methionine into a very, very important methyl carrier. Methionine itself is really important. Methionine itself does lots of things in the body. Methionine is a source of sulfur. Methionine is an important detox element. Methionine gets converted into lecithin, the same stuff that's found in eggs and vegetables, the same stuff you can buy in a health food store, same stuff we talk about all the time when we talk about improving the body's ability to process fats. And that means that methionine is going to be important for all the fatty systems of the body, especially the brain, and especially the brain of a cell, the membrane. I love that. The membrane is actually the brain of a cell. The membrane, the cell membrane, is largely composed of lecithin. That means methionine is going to be important for the information processing of a cell. And we say so many times on this program, all disease is cell disease, and all cell disease is cell membrane disease. So keeping that cell membrane strong and healthy is very important, and that's where lecithin comes in. And methionine is actually converted into lecithin. You can even think of lecithin as a type of souped-up methionine. Lecithin is also important for healing the digestive system. It's also important for helping the digestive system process fats. Bodybuilders, athletes know that methionine can help with fat processing and fat burning. And you'll see methionine in a lot of weightlifting supplements and a lot of fat-burning supplements. But for all the roles that methionine plays in the body, none is more important than its conversion into the active form, the element called SAMe, and that's capital S-A-M dash little e, SAMe. SAMe, this activation of methionine to SAMe turns methionine into a super mega methyl group carrier. SAMe is not really an essential nutrient itself. Methionine is an essential nutrient, but SAMe is not really an essential nutrient. It's not one of the mighty 90 essential nutrients. But even though it itself is not essential, it has very, very important roles to play in multiple systems of the body. It has roles to play that cannot be fulfilled by plain old unactivated, even though it's essential, methionine. The fact that SAMe is an activated version of another nutrient means that you don't really have to get SAMe in the diet. You don't have to really get SAMe as a supplement as long as you're getting enough methionine. But because activation is required and because activation requires energy and sometimes we don't really activate methionine as well as we should, especially if we're sick or toxic or we're nutritionally deficient, it might not be a bad idea to supplement with a little SAMe. SAMe can be considered not an essential nutrient in the sense that you absolutely have to have it, but it may be a conditionally essential nutrient, which means it's not technically a must-have. You don't absolutely have to have it as a supplement, but because it's conditionally essential, it might be a good idea to make sure you're supplementing with SAMe. Famous article, that oftentimes quoted article that appeared in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition a couple of years ago referred to SAMe as a super nutrient, meaning that it's an activated nutrient that must be provided in the diet or via supplementation when production is messed up due to some kind of disease state. Back in the 1990s, when I first started really getting into studying nutrition, SAMe was popular as an antidepressant and an energizer, and there's some very interesting reasons why that is. SAMe, as important as it is for all the systems of the body, it's especially important for the brain, and I will tell you about that tomorrow. I want to get to our phones a little early today. We've got a bunch of calls, and I want to see if we can get to as many calls as possible. Tomorrow, we'll talk about SAMe and why it's important for brain health if you're dealing with bipolar disorder or you're dealing with depression or you have a serotonin problem, that you're in your Prozac or Effexor. You may want to think about supplementing with SAMe. We'll talk about that tomorrow. On the bright side, let's go to our phones a little early today. 855-660-4261 is our number. June in North Carolina. Welcome to the bright side. What's going on? June. Got June?
Yes.
Hey, June. What's cooking?
Thank you, Ben, for having me on.
Sure.
I have been treated for hypertension for the last 15 or 20 years with traditional medicines.
It's not doing much good, is it? It's not doesn't seem to be helping. You still have high blood pressure?
Yes.
Okay.
About 3 or 4 years ago, I started amlodipine, 10 milligrams, and Atacan. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
But about 3 months ago, I exhibited very high WBC, and certainly was recommended that I do the traditional bone marrow testing, etc.
Okay. Hang tight, Joe. We got to take a break, and I'm going to help you with that hypertension because it's really easy to deal with. And you don't need drugs to do it. In fact, antihypertensive drugs are among the deadliest drugs you could ever use. And I'll tell you why when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. Don't go away.
Self-reliance, survival supplies, survival skills, national experts. Get it all at the only free-to-attend national event exclusively for preppers. This spring in Tulsa, it's the National Preppers and Survivalist Expo, a must-be-there event presented by American Living. This massive expo will include special guests, David Mays from Nat Geo's Doomsday Preppers, plus GCN's own Dr. Joel Wallach via live video conference. Hear Dr. Bones, Nurse Amy, and members of the American Prepper Network, along with many other leading national experts. Learn life-saving tips, CPR, how to handle crisis situations, walk through a bomb shelter, and much, much more. 2 big days, April 5th and 6th at the Tulsa Expo Square in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's April 5th and 6th. Doors open at 9 a.m. with absolutely free admission. Don't miss the National Preppers and Survivalists Expo, America's largest emergency preparedness event. Get your free tickets now. NPSExpo.com. That's NPSExpo.com.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call, and how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right. General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for under $30,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet under $30,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100 foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Take delivery in spring. 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
Great news, pure water lovers. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has a special discount offer for all GCN listeners. You can't do better than a Big Berkey for economy. For only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. There's none better than a Big Berkey for emergency preparedness as a backup water source. And you just can't beat a Big Berkey to remove dangerous chlorine, all types of fluoride, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, parasites, and unhealthy byproducts from municipal water. Berkey water filter systems are even powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. For the gold standard in water filters, get a Big Berkey at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And all GCN listeners get 5% off all ceramic filter systems. For details, call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Curious about what comes next? Next is the feeling of vulnerability you get after you arrive home to discover your house has been ransacked by burglars. Fool the bad guys with a new improved fake TV. You asked for it, we listened, and we made our new fake TV 3 times brighter than our previous model. The brightness of our new fake TV is equivalent to a 40-inch TV. It simulates the color and motion of a real TV while you're away from home. And when burglars think someone is home watching television, they're likely to pass your house and move on to an easier target. The new, brighter fake TV is only $39.95 and includes free shipping. Go to faketv.com or call 1-877-5-FAKE-TV. That's 877-532-5388. Or go to faketv.com. Fake TV, the burglar deterrent.
We are the premier independent talk radio network, the Genesis Communications Network, GC.
We're back on the Brightside. I am Pharmacist Ben. We're in North Carolina talking to June about high blood pressure. June, you there, my dear?
Yes, I am.
All right, couple things. Let me just say, cause I don't need to hear the grim details as much, as interesting as they might be.
Could I tell you one other thing that happened? Because of the high WBC, I opted to instead go for vitamins and supplements to include BTT.
Okay.
So I am now doing 12 of these. My
12
blood pressure is 12 vitamins and supplements, including BTT.
Okay.
My blood pressure is continuing to average very low, 110/72.
Oh, okay.
And my question then is whether or not I may be getting even a lower blood pressure than I should, and that the Atacan and the supplements, that it's too much.
Yeah, you might be able to wean yourself off of the medicine. That's what you should be looking at doing. There's lots of toxicity associated with those drugs. No toxicity with the supplements. So if you're dropping your blood pressure nicely, you may want to ask your doctor about weaning yourself off the medication. And you might want to ask the doctor to take a look at the package insert so he can see the side effects of these medications for himself. He may not know that these things, he probably knows, obviously, that they have side effects, but it just may not hit him as hard until he reads the package insert. So you may want to ask the doctor, hey, doc, let's read this package insert together.